The essential understanding for this lesson is two-dimensional shapes have attributes that define them and make them different from one another. Previously, students identified two-dimensional shapes by name. In this lesson, students use attributes such as the number of sides and the number of vertices to define two-dimensional shapes. In this problem, students are asked to find classroom objects that are the same shape as given two-dimensional shapes. This problem is key because students must consider the attributes that define the two-dimensional shapes and make them different from one another. Listen and look for students who draw objects that match each shape, but who have difficulty explaining why the shapes they drew are the same as the geometric shapes. Some students may say that they just know the shapes are the same, or they may say that an object is a certain shape. For example, they may say that the window matches the square because the window is a square. Although these students may not be aware of it, or they may have difficulty verbalizing it, they did consider the attributes of the shapes as they found objects to draw. Review the meaning of sides and corners with these students. Guide them to see that they can use the numbers of sides and corners and the comparative lengths of sides to explain how the objects are the same as the shapes. Listen and look for other students who use the shapes sides and corners to explain their drawings. The window is a square. It has 4 sides that are the same length and 4 corners. The clock is a circle. It has no straight sides and no corners. The button is a triangle. It has 3 sides and 3 corners. The door is a rectangle. It has 4 sides. 2 of the sides are short and 2 are long. It also has 4 corners. The picture frame is a hexagon. It has 6 sides and 6 corners. These students have used attributes of two-dimensional shapes to match objects and shapes. This prepares them for work later in this lesson of defining two-dimensional shapes by their attributes: number of straight sides, number of vertices, and whether they are closed or not.
So, the first question here, I want to draw a closed shape with 3 vertices. What is it? Yes, it's what? It's a triangle. Second question, I want to draw a shape with 0 straight sides. It's a circle, and we know that before. Question number 3, I want to draw a closed shape with more than 3 vertices. We said before, like square, like rectangle with 4 sides and 4 vertices.
Two-dimensional or 2D shapes are plane shapes. Look at the 2D shapes. There is a triangle, circle, rectangle, and square. What do all of these shapes have in common? One thing they have in common is that they are all flat. Is a baseball a 2D shape? Why or why not?
The question again, the baseball as a 2D shape. Let's find the answer.
No, a baseball is not a 2D shape. It is not flat. You can define 2D shapes by how they look. Some 2D shapes have straight sides, and some 2D shapes do not. Look at the triangle. You can trace it with your finger. How would you describe the sides of the triangle? The sides of the triangle are straight lines. A triangle has 3 straight sides. Which 2D shapes have 4 sides? The square and the rectangle each have 4 sides. What is the name for a 2D shape that has no straight sides? A circle has 0 straight sides. Some 2D shapes have corners called vertices, and some 2D shapes do not. A corner of a 2D shape is called a vertex. When a shape has more than one vertex, they are called vertices. These are the vertices of the triangle. A triangle has 3 vertices. Which 2D shapes have 4 vertices? The square and the rectangle have 4 vertices. What is the name for a 2D shape that has no vertices? A circle has 0 vertices. Look at this figure. You can even trace it with your finger. How is tracing this figure different from tracing the triangle? Your finger does not come back to the place where it started. 2D shapes are closed. How can you tell if a 2D shape is closed? One way you can tell is to trace it with your finger. When you trace a closed figure, you come back to the place where you started. Their sides are all connected. This is not a triangle. It is not a closed shape with 3 sides.
Now you know how to define 2D shapes by how they look.
So now you can answer this easy question. They asked me to circle the closed shape. Where is the closed shape here? Yes, we have just 3 closed shapes: triangle, circle, and this square. Another question. They asked me to look at the shapes in each group. We have here 2 groups, group 1 and group 2. And we want to define each group. Group 1, you can find we have 3 shapes with 4 vertices and 4 sides. And group 2, we have more than 4 vertices or less than 4 vertices, like triangle. So our answer here, the shapes in group 1 have exactly 4 straight sides, and the shapes in group 2 have more or fewer than 4 vertices. Another question. I want to circle 3 shapes that have the same number of vertices and sides. Think which shapes here have the same number of vertices and sides. Yeah, that's rectangle, 4 vertices, 4 sides, and this is another rectangle, 4 vertices, 4 sides, and square, 4 vertices and 4 sides, like this one. Or pentagon or hexagon. Hexagon has 6 straight sides and 6 vertices also, but he asked me for 3 shapes, just 3 shapes, so I will choose these 3 shapes. Number 10, he asked me to circle 3 shapes that don't have any vertices. Oh no, the only shape that have not any vertices or straight sides in 2D shapes is circles. So we'll circle these 3 circles. Another question and the last one. Here I have four vertices. My sides are equal. Which shape or shapes can I not be? We have here a circle. Does the circle have 4 vertices? No. Triangle has 4 vertices? No. Rectangle has 4 vertices? Yes. But he said here my sides are equal. Is that equal sides? No, rectangle has not equal sides. Just 2 sides are equal here, and another two sides are equal here, but this side don't equal with this side. Lengths don't equal width. So I will choose it. So my answer here is square, but he asked me to choose which shapes can I not be. We have here another question. Think about a 2D shape and write a riddle about the shape for a painter to solve. It's up to you. You can say, for example, I have 3 sides and 3 vertices. What shape am I? So it's triangle. Or another solution, you can say I have 4 sides and 4 vertices. So what shape am I? You can say you are square or you are rectangle. Thanks for your time. Thanks a lot.